Tell me a little bit about that day.
We couldn't figure out why we were there. Do they have gold here? What do they have? You know, we couldn't figure out what we were there. And it's still people don't agree what the war was about. We didn't know the terrain. They always sent us to new terrain, so we didn't know the terrain. I didn't know the terrain. Okay, that's also very bad for us if you're on that side. We ran into the enemy, and we got in a firefight, and it was pretty intense there for a while. And then someone gave me an M79 grenade launcher, and I shot it down at the enemy, and then some other grenades exploded and things going down. But when I shot that grenade launcher, something hit me too, the grenade. I don't know if it was that grenade or another grenade. Boom, oh, that hurt. Can you imagine somebody putting an ice pick in your eye? Like, oh shit. So I went down. And then I couldn't feel my body anymore. I was just thinking, and I was still religious at the time. I was a Catholic, and I began to pray to God. I said, God, if you let me live, I promise I'll pick cotton free the rest of my life. And I saw myself picking cotton. I was making labor negotiations with God. And I started coming to. And I started thinking about my mother. And then the pain, that's when I started feeling my body again. And the pain was really excruciating. Oh man, it hurt. As soon as I got back home, after a few months, after I recovered from my malaria and my wounds and everything, the Border Patrol stops me out in the cotton fields. I said, wait a minute. You know? And they had guns. Too bad I didn't have a gun.
Hi, this is Juan Espinosa again, and this is Barrios Expressions, and we have some young ladies with us today from Union City, Fremont, Hayward area. Can you tell me a little bit about what is Barrios Unidos?
Okay, it's a club where we would like to unite all the Chicanos together.
Okay, that sounds like a really good idea, especially with what's going on this weekend as far as a lot of tensions. This is what the system wants us to do, is to fight each other so we don't get ahead.
The term Chicano, when that word came out, man, it just like it went into your soul, you know, this is who I am. You know, I am different. We were different. I don't care what we did, we were different. If we dressed, we did it differently. If we had bikes, our bikes were different. Our cars, we did it different. You know, that's just who we were because we were different.
To me, Holmes, is like if you don't know that you're Chicano, then you're not. You dig what I'm saying? It's like, hey, if you don't, if you're asking yourself that question, maybe try softball or whatever. I don't know.
It's art, it's philosophy, it's religion. They are not identifying as Hispanic, right? Not identifying as Latino. They're identifying as Chicano, as a political statement to say, no, we're not with that European vibe, right? We're gonna go back to our indigenous, where we come from here on this continent.
I just want to say something on behalf of the people that do wear them type of clothes. Don't make no difference what you wear in this country. You're just judging a person right then and there. There's people behind these clothes that have a good heart. One bad apple can't spoil the whole bunch.
I hope it may be said 100 years from now that by working together, we help to make our country more just. I believe that at least it will be said that we tried.
You know, at that time, being Mexican in this country, it was heavily looked down upon. And so what begins to happen is you have this isolated culture living in this country and feeling very like abandoned and very like shut out.
It was just neighborhood kids. And they were so young and out there pretty much on their own. There wasn't that much work. Their parents worked 2, 3 jobs, you know what I'm saying? And they weren't able to really watch those kids. So there was a lot of kids in the street. And it's funny because I don't think it's a Mexican style thing. It was the Chicanos creating a third culture.
So how did you become involved in this organization?
I joined the American Indian movement on my return from Vietnam because I realized Politically, I became aware we're native people, we're indigenous to the land.
The Chicanos are very different than the Italians or the Germans or any of those other Europeans in that as a group, we were here already in this territory.
Mexicans are mostly indigenous people. They're not mostly European. You know, now it depends on what part. If you're closer to the northern part, you're more European. Because even some Germans and others, Irish and others have moved in there, you know. But Mexico is more indigenous in its genome makeup than it is anything else.